you mentioned it the day you bought the place. So just the importance of having this event come back.
Well, I guess I started sports car racing and didn't know much about ovals, and I'd been here from back in '51 with my dad. Because we bought the Speedway, and the question is, what are you going to do to make it better? What can we do to utilize it? And I think Tony George and the family really broke the glass when they decided to have NASCAR here, and I think now to have a full-time sports car race is exactly what we want. We got the right date. We got NBC from the standpoint of network television, and to think about the series is changing because you've got these LMDH cars now. You're going to have Ferrari, you're going to have BMW, you're going to have Porsche, Cadillac, and everyone else entering here, along with the classes of Porsche and Corvettes that they normally run in GT. It's just going to make it a great weekend. Plus, we're going to open it up for camping.
You look at next year's schedule, NASCAR here. Do you anticipate being on the oval, or depends on the road course?
We'll be on the road course.
You'll be on the road course.
Yeah. And we're looking at that, to be honest with you. Do we alternate that year after year? We don't know, but that's certainly something we've had some conversation. But next year we'll be on the road course.
What went into that decision?
I don't know. Just I guess depending on scheduling, TV. There's a number of things that we want, and feedback from our fans.
What do you think about the NASCAR DQs, the Gibbs cars, and are you, like as an owner, are you talking to your NASCAR teams and saying anything different this week than you were last week?
I was just glad it wasn't us. That's my answer to that question. Listen, we need to have a level playing field that we're all racing on, and it's the same for all the teams, all the drivers, and I guess I take my hat off to NASCAR, but they've got to be sure it's level across the entire organization and the industry. But we're glad we're not involved in something like that. We've had our time too, so we've got to sit back in the back row on this one.
How about the car? We've seen we saw Kurt Busch get a concussion off of hitting the back end against the wall last week. And, Kurt's missing 2 races. I'm curious, do you have any concerns about the next-gen car and these hits these guys are taking?
Well, my first concern is that Kurt's okay. He's one of the best guys out there, drove for us, and I know that he's really disappointed not being able to run. We had a similar situation that maybe Newgarden couldn't run this weekend. Fortunately, he passed the protocol, but the design of the car obviously is not in the owner's hands, it's in NASCAR's hands, and they're going to have to look at that if there's any issues concerning the construction or safety-wise. I'm sure many people in Charlotte right now are looking at that to make it better if they have to.
So through half the first season with the next-gen car, what's like your personal evaluation of how it's performed so far?
Well, I think we've, as a team, had some good luck with it, won some races. On the other hand, I think it's leveled the playing field, and there's been good racing. You don't have, 13 or 14 winners already, so to me, competitive-wise, it's been pretty strong across all of the teams, and it gives someone coming in, you can look at Trackhouse and some of these people coming in for the first year or so and being able to be successful. So far, so good.
Roger, where things stand with an extension with Joey Logano? I know you guys talked when you had the Shell deal, that was going to be next. Where things stand, and is that going to be done soon? Or
just stay tuned. I would say I'm smiling.
What about, obviously there's a lot of talk about Kyle Busch and his status being uncertain, and Joe Gibbs Racing's talked about that in Toyota. Is there any interest from your point of adding him to your stable or having talks? He said he's talked with other teams.
Well, I think when you look, we've really got 4 cars we're involved in today. When we support the Woods brothers, obviously with Harrison, and we're full of drivers, and we're happy with the guys that we have. They're young and ready to go, and I think our sponsors are fully aligned with us. So to me, it's interesting that Kyle hasn't gotten a spot yet. But look, he's, if you don't say one of the best out there, he certainly is. And I think his expectations, along with what the sponsors and the teams want to step up with, sometimes that doesn't align. So at the moment, I think we'll wait and see.
Will you be able to get something done with Ryan Blaney with a year ahead of time? Because I know teams typically like to get stuff done well in advance. Is that something you'll be able to get done before?
Oh, see, I'm smiling.
A closest 6-driver battle in IndyCar championship since this point system started in 02. You as the owner of IndyCar, how do you feel about it? What a great championship battle you've got with 5 to go.
Well, I think being the owner of IndyCar doesn't allow me to be on the pit stand, so that's not a good feeling when I got to stand out of the way. But no, on the other hand, seriously, to see see the closeness and just watching practice today, 21 cars within a second, you know, is amazing around the first practice. So it's great. Some great drivers, great rivalries. We got lots of other noise going on, which I guess everybody likes. So we'll see what happens.
And from a business standpoint, first year, there's been no restrictions, wide open. You've gotten to do a lot of the things that you bought this place for. From a business standpoint, just how has this year gone for you?
Well, we had a great crowd at 500, which you know, brought in the revenue we'd hoped to get back in 2020. You know, when you have a business plan for 300,000 people and they don't show up, you know, you got a real problem. But we were able to swim through that, and the team here has done an outstanding job. I walk in here and drive in and just see the place and to feel it and to see the fun that fans can have here announcing the sports car race. NASCAR obviously has made a big part of the success of the track, and we're going to have a great weekend. And for me, you know, it's a joy to think about. I came here back in '51 and had a chance with my dad, and here we are, you know, announcing a sports car race and having a triple header, I guess you have to call it, this weekend. So from our perspective, you know, we're all in. We're going to continue to invest, and let's see what happens this weekend. Let's get a good winner.
Is anything that could happen on Sunday, like last year, change your mind about being on the oval next year?
No,
For NASCAR?
I mean, that was, listen, you know, the way we run the cars, we want to get as low as we can. We're cutting across apexes in sports car racing, and quite honestly, we looked at this, even with NASCAR, they've had different types of, you know, things that they put on turtles or whatever they might call them to keep the drivers off these apexes. And this is things that they had here before and really hadn't run NASCAR. And we ran the Infinity cars with no problem. And we just had to change it. I think we're in good shape this year.
And then the NASCAR IndyCar weekend, will that remain as is next year?
I hope so. Yeah, we're planning on it. That's the plan. I mean, we're, you know, in the standpoint of, they haven't put out all the schedules yet, obviously, but you know, it's our plan to have everybody here next year on not the same weekend or whatever is close.